All right. Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. It is November 19th, 2025. Been a little bit since I did a Conspiracy Corner episode. Just been chilling, working. I don't know if it's something to do with the seasons, but I've just been feeling a little under the weather, so I haven't been podcasting as much. And Sammy's on vacation, so we've been kind of hanging out and stuff. We don't really get to have days off together that much, so we've been kind of just chilling, and spending the days with each other and stuff. So got a Buy Me a Coffee account set up in the link below. If you want to donate, it helps with the channel as far as like notebooks, pens, papers, flash drives, all that jazz. If you donate through Buy Me a Coffee, I will snail mail you a Conspiracy Corner podcast sticker. That's about it as far as like plugs. As far as updates, work was a little tough tonight, but I managed. Talina, man, my kitchen boss, my kitchen manager. This is the one that I had talked about in a previous episode. I think I had titled the episode The 100th Ring. Go check it out. It was kind of like just a blue pill episode. Did some Zelda talk about life. The whole message of the episode was just to count your blessings with life. But she had been in a car wreck earlier this year. Like, she went on vacation for, well, not even vacation. It was like 2 or 3 days off or something to like go watch fireworks. Got in a super bad car wreck to where she literally like punctured a lung. One of her ribs broke and punctured a lung. Yeah, she was like fucked up for like and gone from work for a while. Then she came back, and like, I kid you not, like the second day she was back, a pan fell on top of her head and busted her head, and she had it all bandaged up and shit. Here recently, she fucking fell while she was feeding her animals. She's got a pig named Wilbur. Which, listen to this shit. So, just a little side story, but Wilbur had escaped one day. Like, I came in and I was like, "Where's Talina? I thought she was supposed to work today." And she said, "No." One of the coworkers was like, "No, her pig escaped, and it's walking down 27 right now. The cops called her." So they had to figure out, like, why is this pig just walking down? It was like Main Street, or no, it wasn't 27. Yeah, it was Main Street, Nicholasville, just walking down Main Street. So she had to go and wrestle him back in and like chain him up. She had to put a chain on him because she said there was this little girl who like would sit across the street and just kept watching her animals because she has like a pig and chickens and stuff. And she told the little girl, like, "Don't you go messing with my animals," because she said this little girl was like psycho. Like, would just spend like hours out there just watching her animals, like a little Damien child or something. No intro music today. Sorry, Sammy's asleep. But anyways, so she was feeding her animals here recently and slipped and fell and I guess ripped a rotator cuff. So I'm in kitchen now for probably at least a week. She took like, I think it was like a week off or something. And then now she's in a sling and all fucked up. So, what's up? Sorry. Alright, sorry, Sammy woke up. Kind of threw I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about. It don't matter. I have another podcast, Blue Pill Podcast. Go check it out. I did a game review last night. I'm currently playing, it's like a Shrek, kind of like a Mario Kart clone. So I'll be reviewing that next. Huh? Juice. Oh. I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying, man. Okay, so I'll probably be reviewing that next. let's just get on with the show. So, there was some recent emails, like a partial release with some Epstein files, which I was watching tonight. Apparently, they were doing a revote on it. I believe Thomas Massey was behind it, which, this dude seems fucking cool as hell. He's, a governor or some form of politician from Kentucky. Like congressman. I think it's congressman, because governor would be what? Bashir? Yeah. So he's a congressman for Kentucky. You guys know me, I don't play the left-right paradigm. I don't give a fuck if they're Democrat or Republican. I think it's two wings of the same bird. This guy's a Republican, but he's one of the very few who were pushing for the release of the Epstein files. Now, will those files, apparently, he pushed forward to have like a vote to release it. I know him and Marjorie Taylor Greene were behind that. And everybody's celebrating because I seen it was about 7 hours ago. I keep up with Asmongold. I like the guy. He seems cool. But he was reporting on it and watching it, I guess, on C-SPAN. The vote did go through. So they are going to release the Epstein files. So, that being said, don't sit here and get all excited, because how much of those files are going to be redacted and blacked out because of national security? I don't know. I like to kind of celebrate small wins. I consider it a small win. I am curious, though, how much of those files are we going to get to read and all that jazz. But apparently, before all that, there was a little bit of a email between Mark Epstein, which is Jeffrey's brother, talking about Donald Trump, Putin, and Bubba, quote unquote, which is apparently an alias for Bill Clinton. Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, actually, I believe it was Tucker Carlson interviewed him. I don't know much about Mark Epstein. I don't know if he's a good guy. I don't know if he's a bad guy. You can't choose your family. And one thing that I've always said with this channel is, one of the phrases that I hate is that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, because I have multiple family members who are piece of shit scumbag chomos, and just because they are doesn't mean I am. You know what I mean? So I don't know much about Mark Epstein. I did listen to the interview that him and Tucker did, and he seemed okay there, but we're going to get into this email exchange between him and his brother, and what was said about Donald Trump, Putin, and Bubba. I thought it was interesting. So, the internet erupts over Mark Epstein email on Trump, Putin, and Bubba. Here's what we need to know about those emails between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother. Jeffrey Epstein's email correspondence, released by the House Oversight Committee this week, implicates many powerful people, particularly President Donald Trump. One email chain in particular seems to allude to Trump performing a lewd act on Bill Clinton. I'm not even joking. Now, do I automatically believe that, Trump sucked Bill Clinton's dick? I don't fucking know. It wouldn't surprise me, I think, honestly, if you're into politics at a high level, if you're into anything at a high level, you've probably done some weird shit to get there. Now people are like, oh, Trump's gay. And it's like, That doesn't mean you're gay. That just means that you probably want to move up in the world, you know? I'm just saying, you can do something without wanting to do it, you know? And we all know these elites are into some weird shit. But, playing devil's advocate, I know that me and my brothers, most of me and my brothers have like, because I have 3 brothers, I'd say 2 out of the 3, we have like a dark sense of humor. We have a funny bone. We think fucked up shit is funny. And we make up shit. We'll make up little lies and shit. But the thing is like we're joking. You know what I mean? I do it on this channel all the time. I say fucked up shit. And sometimes it's not true. It's just, it's a fucking joke. I'm getting a laugh out of you. And I could see just from like how I speak to my brothers of like, of course Jeffrey and Mark would talk like this to each other, like, hey man, did you hear about Donald Trump, you know, sucking Billy Boy Bubba's dick, you know? Like do you got the evidence on that? So I don't automatically just believe this, you know. The thread in question from March 2018 is between Epstein and his brother Mark, who asked the billionaire child sex offender, what is your boy Donald up to now? Epstein replied things were, quote-unquote, all good, and that Steve Bannon, the president's one-time advisor, was with him. Steve Bannon, by the way, isn't he like a podcaster or radio guy? I don't know much about him, but I'm pretty sure he's like old talk radio, right? Mark then emailed his brother, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba. So apparently I didn't know this. That's like basically Bill Clinton's nickname, like within the community that the Clintons hang out with, which Trump used to hang out with the Clintons. I mean, didn't he attend their wedding and vice versa? Like, they were all tight. Trump, Epstein, Clintons. That's why when you hear all these, like, Q-tards, like, you know, that are surprised that Trump, you know, hung out with the Clintons, and it's like, first of all, Donald Trump used to be a fucking Democrat. He was literally a lifelong Democrat. This is why I say it's 2 wings of the same fucking bird. No one listens. Trump was a lifelong Democrat. He was running against Hillary. If he knew that if he ran against Hillary as a Democrat, first of all, the Democratic Party would have kicked him out, just like they did with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. when RFK Jr. was running against Trump. He was going to run as a Democrat because the Kennedys have always been Democrat. But RFK Jr. is a classic liberal, for one. And 2, they're like, no, dude, like, we're the satanic party. We don't want a good guy fucking winning, you know, and running, like, as a Democrat. So they kicked him out. They did the same thing with Bernie Sanders, man. So yeah. They're all fucking tight. It's 2 wings of the same bird. I guarantee you behind closed doors, they're all drinking champagne together, man. The billionaire replied, and I thought, I had Suris, I don't know what the fuck that means, Tsuris, using the Yiddish word for troubles. Okay, Yiddish, ain't that like Jew talk? Not trying to be like edgy or nothing, but isn't Yiddish like Jew talk? So he's speaking like some Jew talk to his brother, who could possibly be Mossad. Mark's reply then alludes to a prison movie. You and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. I think I've seen that movie like one time. I don't even remember what it was about. Didn't it have like Danny DeVito or something? So, Mark's comment could either be a joke or a reference to an actual event. It's not clear who Bubba is, but commentators on social media had a field day. Many noted that this is one of President Clinton's nicknames, And Clinton also had a relationship with Epstein as well as Trump. So, like I said, same circle, dude. I mean, here's the photos for all the Q-tards and MAGA Republicans out there who are like, well, no, they're not tight. And it's like, yeah, they fucking were. Trump used to donate to the Clintons' campaigns and shit. So this is from an anonymous post. It hasn't been confirmed who Bubba is. However, it is the nickname of former President Bill Clinton, who had a decades-long close relationship with both Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. And I'm just looking at the actual email. There's the actual email, so you know I'm not just making this shit up. I don't think it says anything that... Yeah. There's some Yiddish in there, but I don't know that shit. Trump's one big beautiful bill. Someone else posted, who in the hell is Bubba? And the email references to the movie Get Hard, which was made in 2015 and starred Will Ferrell and Kevin Hart. Okay, so I'm thinking of a totally different movie. This is evolving into some real freaky deaky stuff. I'd never seen that movie. There's the poster for it. 2015, so that wasn't... I mean, yes, that was like 10 years ago, but I don't know. On a grand scale, that really wasn't that long ago. Is this real or a disgusting joke between brothers? Trump has not directly addressed this email and has only taken shots at Clintons and others implicated in the released correspondence. The allusion to another piece of compromise that Putin has over Trump seems to have irked the president as he railed against another Russia scam on Truth Social Friday morning. Truth Social, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of like a QAnon fucking MAGA website. I guess it's kind of like Twitter. I've never got on there. There's people who are like, man, you need to get on Truth Social. And I'm like, no. I'm a classic liberal. I'm a witch. I hate the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. Two wings, same bird. Like, I would never fit in there, dude. I'm like, there would be no fucking point. But yeah, Trump is always posting, like, QAnon shit on there. I've showed you guys all the Q shit he keeps posting on there. It's fucking retarded. People are like, oh, he doesn't believe in QAnon. He's not. I've seen his post. You know, I ain't even on the website, but I've seen what he posts on there. He posts QAnon shit. Because that's like, he's losing his base, man. You know? So who else does he have but except for, like, Q-tards? Because they're the ones, like, anytime he does anything wrong, they're like, trust the plan. It's part of the plan, you know? With all these sexual assault allegations against Epstein and Trump, the emails could point to something genuine. Regardless, the fact that the government has not yet released its full trove of Epstein files could mean that this is only the beginning. Which I did tell you. They did vote, and apparently it went through. So we will, knock on wood, see some Epstein files. Like I said, how much of it's going to be redacted. So let's get into another story because we still have some time. This one kind of slipped past my radar. So I'm a little behind on shit, and sometimes shit just slips through the cracks, man. Like I said, with my current job, my old job, like back in the day, I used to be able to listen to podcasts literally like pretty much my entire shift. So like 8 hours worth of podcast a day. So I mean, I kept up with shit pretty good. With my current job, I'm not really able to listen to podcasts like I used to. So a lot of shit is slipping through the cracks on me, unfortunately, which sucks. I mean, when I come home, I'll listen to... I don't even put on podcasts, really, when I come home. I'll usually just put on short conspiracy videos, you know, like maybe 10, 15 minutes long, write down like, hey, I should talk about this subject tomorrow, whatever. But I was catching up on last podcast on the left because I haven't. It's been a minute since I'm way behind on it on last podcast on the left. That's like my second favorite. Well, one of my favorite podcasts. But Henry Zabrowski was on there talking about Ashley Biden is getting a divorce. And I've done an episode on Ashley Biden before about her diary, which she maybe accidentally left at rehab once. And that gets into the whole story of her father, Joseph Biden, quote unquote, taking showers with her when she was like 13 years old, 14 years old, like real disgusting, creepy ass shit. I actually feel bad for Ashley Biden. I truly do. I haven't heard any dark stories from her about her. I mean, I've heard some fucked up shit from her diary that I read and reported on. Which, by the way, I'll link that episode below in Spotify. I need to make a Biden playlist. I feel bad for her. Because where I haven't heard anything dark about her, and like I said, I don't like that phrase, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She's innocent in my eyes until proven guilty. Which is how it should be for anyone. But I did want to report on this of apparently she's getting divorced. Ashley Biden files for divorce from plastic surgeon Howard Krein, or Krein, Krein, her husband of 13 years. So, I've only been married 10 years, man, so I mean, well, it'll be 10 next year, marriage. Kind of sucks though, man. 13 years. Former first daughter, she's 44, married Krein, 58, so 14-year difference. At a church in Delaware in 2012. Ashley Biden, the daughter of former President Joe Biden and former First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. If you guys don't know, his first wife died on a train track, I believe, with their kids in the car. The whole thing's shady as fuck. That's all I'm going to say. So this is the offspring of the second marriage. Has reportedly filed for divorce from her husband, Dr. Howard Krein, after 13 years of marriage. On Monday, August 11th, Ashley, 44, who married Krein, 58, on June 2nd, 2012, filed the documents in the Philadelphia Court of Common Pleas. The Philadelphia Inquirer reported, citing her representative. On the same day, Ashley posted a since-deleted photo of herself walking through a park, giving a thumbs up on her Instagram stories, while Beyonce's Freedom played in the background per the outlet. I mean, Ashley, your music taste sucks. I don't give a fuck. But, hey, I mean, like I said, until I've heard some evil about her, I feel kind of bad for the girl. I hope she's doing well. You know, former first daughter had also reposted the quote, "New life, new beginnings means new boundaries. New ways of being that won't look or sound like they did before," on Instagram, set to the tune of Ms. Lauryn Hill's Freedom Time. So she's obsessed with the word freedom, the newspaper noted. I have no clue who Lauryn Hill is. A representative for Ashley did not immediately respond when contacted by People magazine for comment. People had also reached out to Krein. As previously reported by People, Ashley and Krein tied the knot, and the steepled St. Joseph on the Brandywine Roman Catholic Church in Greenville, Delaware, in a ceremony combining the bride's Catholic traditions and the groom's Jewish ones. Of course he's a Jew. I'm sorry, I don't care. Of course he's a Jew. And supposedly the Bidens are quote-unquote Catholic, you know. Wasn't there some crazy-ass story like way years ago that Joe Biden was excommunicated from the Catholic Church because he was pro-abortion? There's Ashley Biden, though. That's what she looks like. She's actually pretty. Afterward, the newlyweds and around 200 family members and close friends headed to the Biden family's lakeside home in nearby Wilmington for a reception and dinner served family style in the backyard. Joe, who was the U.S. vice president at the time, by the way, I don't think that's the same fucking Joe Biden. And you guys know me, I'm not a Q-tard. I've denounced that shit. I despise the QAnon movement, but I do have to say that's one of the few times I'll talk to a Q-tard and be like, okay, I think you're right on that shit. I don't think that's the same fucking Joe Biden. So when he attended her wedding as vice president to Obama, I don't think that's the same fucking dude. I'm sorry. I may sound crazy. I don't give a fuck. I don't think that's the same guy. Personally prepped for the big event, with him and his wife Jill laying fresh sod and planting special fast-growing vines up the lattice work around the party tents. The new former president escorted the bride down the aisle and had prepared to be emotional about giving away the youngest of his children. I kept telling Ash we've got to open up the church and practice walking up and down the aisle so I can handle it, he previously told People magazine days leading up to the wedding. By the way, knowing the shower stories, it's so fucking gross, dude. It's so fucking gross. While reminiscing about the only other time he'd seen his daughter in a veil at her first communion. Oh, okay. I was like, what creepy shit are we talking about? That just reminds me of that weird leaked Freemason videos where it was all the Freemasons with the little boys and they had them in wedding dresses and veils. If you know what I'm talking about, hit me up in the comments below, man. It's creepy ass footage. Joe added at the time, I think to myself, oh God, my little girl. This can't have passed so quick. That's how he talks though. Ashley and Krine started dating on the summer of 2010 after meeting through Bo Biden. One of her two older half-brothers, Bo, by the way, died. And then fucking, who's the crazy crackhead? Hunter ended up getting with Bo's fucking wife. Allegedly after he died. I don't know if they had a relationship before, but the whole thing is kind of scummy. One of her two older half-brothers, they had then gotten engaged in October 2011 after Krine proposed at sunset on a cliff in Big Sur, California. Joe previously told People of Krine asking for his permission to marry his daughter. This is the right guy, and he's getting a hell of a woman. Ugh. It's so creepy. Knowing what we know, that's fucking creepy. Ashley has largely lived life away from the spotlight, but she did bring her father to tears after she introduced him at the Democratic National Convention in 2024. I wonder what he was truly crying about. You know, she mentioned how emotional her father was on her wedding day in her speech saying, before he walked me down the aisle, he turned to me and said he would always be my best friend. All these years later, Dad, you are still my best friend. I don't know. What is that syndrome? When you love the person who victimized you. I forget what it is. Stockholm syndrome. Maybe it's a touch of Stockholm syndrome. You know. Krine was in the Oval Office with the Biden family on an important day in 2024 when Joe delivered a speech on his decision to abandon his re-election bid. So that's about it. It's freezing up on me. So we covered Donald J. Trump allegedly, if the email is not a joke, and if it's true, sucking Bill Clinton's dick. And Vladimir Putin having footage of it. I guess for blackmail purposes. I mean, that's how these rings run, you know. I told you guys, and you guys, if you're longtime listeners, know from years of listening that that's how it is. It's all blackmail, you know. That's how they keep each other in check. That's how they control each other. It's a shitty system. But I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a good day.